Why, hello there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name is Mr. DB333, and welcome back to the new campaign trail. Now, last time we were here together, we hopped into Obama Nation, a little presidential simulator following one Barack Hussein Obama. We committed some pretty radical change, and we ended up doing good for our constituents. And by constituents, I mean the Nation of Islam and the Weather Underground. And managed to beat Dick Cheney in a total electoral wipeout. It was honestly kind of crazy how well we did. But that was a long time ago. I've been very behind on the uploads. I want to apologize for that. School is a bitch, and grad school is a hell of a bitch. But we're back now. And we're going to hop back into some good old new campaign trail. Mainly with the, not the new mod, but the newly updated mod. Liberty and Liberalism. Ever since John Kerry defied the odds and won the election in 2004, he's been forced to endure a constant assault. Assault from the Republicans, who retained a majority every year he's held the office. An assault from disillusioned liberals, frustrated by legislative gridlock, preventing Kerry from acting on the issues he promised to solve. And an assault, increasingly war-weary public, that the Iraq War continues to drain resources and men from America. Coupled with the economy starting to show warning signs, it seems as though John Kerry will follow the fate of the Bush family. Unless the Republicans nominated someone particularly unappealing to the electorate. John Kerry must salvage his first term and persuade the public of the danger President Ron Paul would represent. Meanwhile, Ron Paul must keep both his core base and the Republican faithful happy with the most radical Republican nominee since Barry Goldwater, and bring the fight to John Kerry. So first off, we'll hop in and thank the brave Mujahideen freedom fighters, who were never credited at the end of the Rambo movies. That's a myth, just so you know. Anyway, so yeah, that muted. I'll pause this because I don't want to endure you all to Coldplay, both for moral reasons and financial reasons, because that'll get video demonetized. And we're going to be hopping in as Dr. No. Ron Paul, a Texas representative and the former presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party, nicknamed by his colleagues Dr. No, in reference to his medical background and refusal to support bills that are outlined as a responsibility of Congress and the Constitution. Paul is as infamously principled as he is radical. More conservative of 1908 than of 2008, Paul's opposition to moralism, military intervention, and welfare reform, unless that reform is cutting it entirely, has made him a non-duck in his party. Paul himself has openly questioned if he belongs in the Republican Party. The disastrous John Kerry presidency has reminded him that, as bad as big government conservatism is, big government liberalism is far worse. However, lame duck presiding over a troubled economy has offered Paul an opportunity to advance the cause of liberty further than it's ever been, so long as he can win the primary. Let's go ahead and hop in. And here we are, the revolution. In America, there are very tired people. They're tired of choosing to be robbed of the monkey they worked for, to fund handouts more by the donkey or less by the elephant. They're tired of the elephant extorting them to fund killing brown people in a country they couldn't find on a map, or a donkey extorting less to kill less. They're tired of choosing between an elephant spying on them or a donkey spying on them. Ron Paul wakes these people up, a man who dares to speak common sense and find himself mocked by smug elites robbing the nation blind. It's these people that will propel Paul to Commander-in-Chief. America can't survive with anything less. Well, there we go. Default, winner take all. Go ahead and hop on in. Let's take a look at the map real quick. So we have 4 issues, which isn't too bad. Economy, foreign policy, social issues, and President Kerry. Since a liberal wiener. It's funny. Or just another politician. God-fearing. Live and let live. Equality for all, moralists. Different social stuff going on here. John Kerry's narrow win in 2004 has been a disaster for America, as he maintained Bush's draconian legislation and pointless imperialism while trying to unconstitutionally expand his economic powers. You're on C-SPAN now, ready to announce that you're running for president. What themes will you hit in your announcement? I forget what Ron Paul sounds like. I'm just going to do a Texas accent. I'm the only alternative to the announced candidates, frankly. From McCain to Keyes to even Giuliani, they don't offer real change. If they win the nomination, they're offering the American public the choice between big government and bigger government. I'm the only real advocate for a smaller government. Big government and bigger government quickly become a favorite line in the primary campaign, and gives you a solid bounce when the primary begins. Looking at all the polls I've gotten you, even Kerry supporters seem swayed. Well, here we go. The race is stuffed. Romney, Huckabee, Giuliani, and McCain are all considered very likely winners. Well, you're treated as a joke, as usual. The Iowa and New Hampshire primaries are coming up soon. Huckabee and Thompson are focusing on Iowa, while Giuliani, McCain, and Romney are focusing on New Hampshire. Which state will you focus on, and what will your strategy be? New Hampshire being targeted means unique messaging will stick out more. I think we should take a few pages from McCain's campaign years ago and press our outsider message. I think some of his reformist language could aid us greatly here. A week before the New Hampshire primary, McCain announces he's exiting the race following a cancer scare. In a race of more conservative than thou, you're able to snatch enough moderates and reformists and win the state. Well, there we go. I'm going to visit New Mexico. Your shocking upset win has left the mainstream media reeling, having brought you from joke candidate to leading contender. But an unfortunate fact has emerged. Your faction within GOP is rabid, but small. You can expand your coalition and maintain your energy. How do you plan to do so? Well, we can expand our base without compromising other stances. Guys like Alan Keyes are strong on the border. We can marry our bases with our similar economic stances. We need to worry about our borders here at home, not worry about the borders around the world. Libertarians enjoy this anti-war pitch, and pale conservatives enjoy your focus on the border. When Alan Keyes drops out, he endorses you, and Pat Buchanan follows him. Your coalition expands wider and wider. Your surge is being taken very seriously now. Rumors are about that Romney and Huckabee will engage in some kind of corrupt bargain when they consolidate their conservative bases to stop you. Will they do anything to try and stop this? Well, I know we've had some close calls, but I feel confident in doing nothing about this. They both want to be president too bad to agree to compromise. And they'll hurt each other by targeting the same group while I make my case to people who want something different. Very astute, Dr. Paul. Huckabee's remarks on Romney's faith ensure that any alliance would be tenuous at best, and they can't make a deal. Come to the convention, it's you who has defied the odds. You grin as you stand at the convention giving your acceptance speech. We'll go to Pennsylvania. Before the convention, Mike Duncan invites you to his office. He tells you that you're not his preferred candidate, but he respects the will of the voters. He wants to talk about your running mate. He suggests a retiring senator from Colorado, Wayne Allard, an uncharismatic and unknown man only known for twice submitting amendments to ban gay marriage. Are you willing to play ball? Allard keeps the party united. Well, I suppose I'll need every advantage possible. Colorado's a swing state as well. I can certainly see that he's an alluring pick. I like John. I want him associated with me, but sure. I'll share a ticket with Allard. Duncan is visibly relieved by your compromise. You have an awkward chat with Allard a few days ago where you work to plan to avoid contradicting each other on the campaign trail. Roll credits. Here's our VP, Paul Allard. Paul Allard, I forget his name already. That's how unremarkable he is. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Because we've done it. You're the nominee for president, defying every odd placed in your way. You take a deep breath and prepare to deliver your speech. What themes will you hit on? I've been getting attention for some time, but now the spotlight's on just me. The media won't put words in my mouth. Let's introduce myself and make my stances clear. America as the most moral nation on earth, founded on moral principles. I will shrink the government and return America to the ways the Founding Fathers envisioned it. You've questioned if you belong in the party before. A speech like this reminds you in the party of the fundamental morality of small government and why you align with them. Well, there we go. It's looking pretty good for us right now, I gotta say. Let's take a visit to Maine. That should be close. The general campaign is kicking off, and we have official Republican polls. It's not good news, Dr. Paul. Oh, that bad? Really? Unfortunately so, Dr. Paul, but it's fine. We can work through this. We have to. Oh, Jesus, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ugh. Your emergence as a Republican standard bearer has been controversial, to say the least. No prominent Republican politician willing to jeopardize their career by running against you. Various right-wing third parties, such as the Constitution Party, the Prohibition Party, and the American Independent Party, have nominated controversial radio host Rush Limbaugh with various running mates, with a stated goal of forcing you to the right. How do you intend to address Limbaugh? Sorry about that. I get notifications from Instagram now about people I don't follow anymore. I don't know why. Anyway, John Kerry has been a total disaster as president. I mean, he broke the economy. If someone wants to play more conservative than thou and risk another 4 destructive years of Kerry, then be my guest. But I won't be playing along with this nonsense. Good edge. Conservatives should be able to hold their nose and vote for you, but still, make sure you throw some red meat. Alright, we'll do Pennsylvania. Former President George W. Bush has settled out of politics rather peacefully, having instead invested in Dallas Cowboys and making semi-frequent appearances for their home games. He enjoys high approval ratings, but your base loathes the man. Will you seek his endorsement? Well, I won't meet with Bush. The base will kill me. But we can allude to him, absolutely. Let's make some headlines praising the ideas behind No Child Left Behind and Bush's tax cuts. This is a good middle ground between appealing to the typical Republican base and not alienating your own. No time is wasted pointing out your vote against No Child Left Behind, but Republican insiders appreciate your willingness to compromise. You feel a bit dirty. One key advantage you hold over the other candidates in the primary is your strong online presence. With the primaries over, some Republican leaders feel the internet is too fickle to rely on and think the more traditional advertising will be your best bet. Will you return your focus onto TV? Well, sure. Primary is a different beast entirely from the general. These guys know what they're doing. Feel more comfortable on Fox than on YouTube anyway. We'll divert funds online back to get into TV. Gab about your libertarian philosophy, Bill O'Reilly, and shoot some stiff infomercials. Your core base is deflated, but the bigwigs are happy. Let's go to Michigan. The economy, having shown warning signs since late 2007, is in utter free fall with the bankruptcy of Lehman Brothers, the largest of its kind. I've been predicting something like this since 2004. It's happening. The election has flipped around on its head. You've gone from a joke to a Cassandra figure. Your radical solutions may never be more popular than at this moment. Oh, look at that. It's not too bad. It's still room to expand on that, though. Kerry's Secretary of the Treasury, Roger Altman, has pushed for a bank bailout to try and protect jobs following the crash. The taxpayer will put up $850 billion to fund failed business. I ask how you intend to vote, but there's no question here. Nay. Dr. No strikes. The bailout is popular with anyone familiar with your established economics, and your opposition is used to attacking in the future. At the same time, there's certainly an outrage that the people are bankrolling the corporations that gamble with their homes, their futures. This could go well for you. Pennsylvania again. It's time for the debates. It's critical that these go well to maintain your sudden momentum. What's your plan for the debates? My policies on my website. People know where to look. For the debate, we'll just go on the attack. People are suffering while bank executives fly in private jets to demand taxpayer money. President Kerry gave it to him. This really resonates. Kerry can insist it's necessary all he wants. People hate this policy. During the debates, John Kerry asks you frankly, will you, or will you not, try to end the Social Security system? Well, I certainly won't. However, sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. We have to accept the fact that the numbers don't work here. During George Bush's plan to keep Social Security solvent, we must prudent here. This answer offends only the most diehard libertarians who are offended by your massive pivot. Your new position isn't popular, but it's still much better than saying you would. Alright, well, we could do... let's go to Maine. The automotive industry is one of those who've been hit hardest by the recession. Large manufacturers such as Chrysler or Ford, who employ large parts of the Midwestern population, seem to be teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. For a total meltdown, President Kerry's proposed a significant bailout. How will you counsel the Republican Party to vote? I'll vote against it, but tell the party to vote how they'd like. I have a feeling I can't prevent something of this stature. You might be right, Dr. Paul. The bill passes, though with a narrower margin than Kerry would have preferred. You include a tax on your stump speeches, and conservatives like it well enough. The Democratic Convention nominated Mary Landrieu as John Kerry's running mate, following Edwards' mysterious health problems, forcing him to decline a second term. Do you have any comments to make about Senator Landrieu? Well, I think seeing a woman run for the second highest office is a good thing and long overdue. I don't be doing anything without Carol. Win or lose is a great sign for women everywhere in America. People are surprised at your polite tone. Your genial attitude helps disarm notions that you're an extremist, at least a little. Alright, let's go to New Mexico. One issue of particular salience is your stance on abortion. As a Christian, you oppose it, but does your support for states' rights extend to abortion? When I was a doctor, I witnessed a fellow doctor perform a cesarean section. Pull out a fetus that weighed maybe 2 pounds. Was breathing and crying. Was put in a bucket and set in the corner of the room. Everyone in the room just pretended they didn't hear until it died. That's what I think about abortion. You've long been opposed to baby murder, even winning your 1980 primary against an abortionist libertarian. There is light enough on policy to keep your base happy, but your clear morality appeals to the Republican base. You feel a tug of guilt as you think about the babies that will be killed in blue states when you win. You've been a consistent opponent of the Iraq War your whole career, even being one of 6 Republican representatives to controversially vote against the Iraq War resolution when he first became presented in 2002. What are your plans to handle the war when you become president? Well, my policy is controversial. I won't hide or downplay it, but I think we can compare and contrast with John Kerry and George Bush. How is President Kerry's policy meaningfully differentiated from President Bush's? Divide and conquer. You won't win over most but the devout liberal dubs, but you can convince them to stay home or vote for the third party. Take a visit to Michigan real quick. Your old newsletter, the Ron Paul Political Report, has been dug up by liberal muckrakers. The paper features promises of race war, anti-Semitism, and in one memorable occasion accused Martin Luther King of being a pedophile. The good news is that you didn't write these, but they still have your name on them. How will you address these being dug up? Well, I apologized for this before, and I'll apologize to them again if I have to. I can't defend them. But I can't help but wonder why the newsletter is being discussed instead of the poor state of John Kerry has left the economy. This is the best answer you could have given, acknowledging the newsletter was wrong, but being pugnacious enough to generate a defense. Rush Limbaugh's been attacking you non-stop since his entrance into the race. Everything from you surrendering to terror to ending Social Security to letting homosexuals teach in the classrooms. He's crossed the line recently, however, declaring Ron Paul is a candidate that will bring back pederasty. John Kerry, he wants to spit on marriage and make homos marry. But Ron Paul wants to empower gay pedophiles. How you respond? He wants attention. We won't give him any. How dare he? Rush doesn't stop using the line, but he does suffer some negative headlines about the tasteless jokes. And fortunately, most listeners seem to take them as jokes. Let's visit Minnesota. You've got a complicated history of gay rights. On the one hand, you make comments saying you support gay marriage. On the other, you say you would have voted for the Defense of Marriage Act. What's your stance on gay marriage? I oppose efforts to redefine marriage as something other than a union between one man and one woman, at least on the federal level. Marriage is a sacred union. As a Christian, I would veto any bill that redefines marriage. This is about the only acceptable answer. You don't talk about intervening on a state level, so libertarians are happy, but you still provide a spirit defense of marriage, so Christians are happy. Put down your newspaper, something about the automotive industry, and feel restless. Notice a conveniently empty portion on your schedule, and decide to pay a visit to come out of state. Where to, Dr. Paul? How about New Mexico? Bush nearly won it 4 years ago, and Kerry and I have been trading blows over it. Mexico is very winnable, and the weather is nice. They like you well enough, and your polls see a boost there. Well, I do declare. I declare that we go to Pennsylvania. Alan's been campaigning well for you, but the fact is he simply isn't a libertarian. His career level disconnect from the ticket that's been hard to ignore. How do you plan to address it? Let's not beat around the bush. Al had served his purpose as soon as he hopped on board. Let him schmooze with donors for us, and we'll use the money to hire more surrogates. This is probably his best use. He was hardly a tour de force of personality anyway. Okay. How we doing? We're winning right now. It's closer than I'd like, but we're winning. So number 3 draw is close. There's no denying that most people don't really understand your libertarian policies. The public either thinks you're a callous lunatic or they just can't figure you out. How will you make yourself more understood? More or understood, I guess that's supposed to say. The ideas I represent are simple and elegant. Just film some simple ads explaining myself. I believe in tax cuts because I believe the government shouldn't steal your money. I believe in peace because I think the government shouldn't get you killed. I believe in an end to the Federal Reserve because the businessman knows business best. You've been explaining yourself since the 80s. People still don't fully back your eccentric ideas. Still, tax cuts are always popular. There we go. Let's go to Maine. The vote count is right. It should be 5, right? No, it is 4. I was thinking Nebraska. President Kerry has restarted his fight for healthcare reform, citing the need to help lift the burden from people struggling in the recession. What are your comments on this development? President Kerry's tax plan will cost $260 billion. For context, when the entire Medicare program started, it was less than $8 billion. Even when accounted for inflation, that's $44 billion. This continuous bloated tax and spend mentality got us into this massive crash. Fiscal responsibility will help us get out. It's good to use figures in your attack on healthcare. Tying the spending to recession should help take the luster out. President Kerry, Senator Kennedy, and Senator Hatch have been negotiating on a bill to expand immigration. Efforts have slowed, in part due to Kerry campaigning and in part due to Kennedy's ailing health. Will he campaign against the bill? Well, it's vital I campaign against the bill. I know the Senate is split on the bill, but the House is against us. I'm part of the majority for once. Let's go a long way to healing some divisions within the party. Let's phone up Boner and arrange a whole GOP ride against the bill. But it feels good to be in the majority for once. Limbaugh voters will certainly be reconsidering you, and the party bosses are relieved you're not totally alien with a GOP base. Let's do New Mexico. While green issues aren't a major part of the campaign, the vice president has made some remarks about your policies exacerbating global warming. Will you address these claims? Well, if global warming is a threat, then it's the free market that's best suited to deal with it. Let them find their own solutions instead of pouring millions of taxpayers' money in pointless subsidies and job-destroying regulations. It's more of a populist stand at attacking global warming, and it's not a bad use of populism, making the issue about jobs as popular in this economic climate. Well, John Kerry has finally begun to pull troops out of Iraq with rather suspicious timing. What are your comments on this development? Well, I'm glad I've been such an inspiration on President Kerry. Even he thinks my policies are right. Kerry clarifies that he's only pulled out when the generals said it was reasonable to pull out, but various anonymous leaks suggested that the decision was indeed politically motivated. Hopefully this will help mitigate this October surprise. Well, so the good folks in Wisconsin. Alright, so we got... we're doing okay for the most part. New Mexico, we're probably going to have to choose... Actually, we're going to have to put stuff in Pennsylvania. One long campaign is over, and your long-standing efforts to spread libertarian ideals are reaching a climax. In this last week, which area of the country would you like to target? Well, the Midwest, of course. I think we can really start punch through the noise and still the Union men on libertarian ideals. Some listen, some don't. The recession has hit these people hard. There's a growing attitude of distrust and disillusionment that concerns even you. Election has arrived. Settle and wait for returns. How long may be. Best of luck. Well, here we go. Ron Paul Revolution. It's about to commence. Alright, so we're in the Deep South. Nothing surprising is really coming yet. One Virginia. That's good. It's potentially swinging. It's more blue now than it was then, but it's still good to see. Florida, we won. Not a big surprise there. Ohio, we got. That was in question, so that's good to see. New York has come in. I hear you can allegedly win New York. I haven't messed around to find out. Now we lost Pennsylvania. That's not fun. But we're going to lock in... Well, for Alaska, we're going to win. So, I mean... California, yeah. Well, there we go. Oh, we lost Maine. That's not fun. It's going to come up down to the Rust Belt, I think. Got Alaska. It's going to be narrow. I've won bigger before my last test game. Okay. 307 to 221 so far. We got Nevada. Just barely lost New Mexico. I'll take that. Libertarian conservative. If I'm not mistaken. Oh no. We got like 2 different ending songs. Just wanted to check. One of them was Jigsaw Falling into Place by Radiohead, which I fucking love that song, so I was happy to see. And then I did a big blowout where I won Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Maine, and New Mexico, and that was down with sickness, which I thought was kind of funny. Anyway, let's stop meandering and get to the point. It was touch and go for a moment. Ron Paul is now president-elect. The German term Schadenfreude leapt to mind as Paul watched the final state called. Russia's little mind amounted to absolutely nothing. Kerry's ad hominem attacks bounced off the grandest armor a man could wear, that of a righteous cause. After nearly a century of liberalism, bringing about economic devastation, Americans had woken up and rejected big governance. He imagined George Washington smiling down on him in heaven. The America he fought for restored at last after decades of perversion. He was handed a phone where morose John Kerry conceded the election. Paul congratulated him on a hard fight, and they had a brief but polite chat to discuss the presidential time the presidential briefings. Despite how terrible John Kerry had been, he was just a symptom. Disease big government was going to need a thorough cleansing if they were going to cure it. Luckily, America had given its doctor a clear mandate. Ron Paul strided out on stage of Staples Center, Carol on his arm. He grinned widely, looking at his adoring crowd, admiring the broad coalition he built. Men wearing strange graphic t-shirts were next to skinny women holding an anti-war sign, who was next to an utterly befuddled man in a business shirt and slacks. They had demanded change, and Ron Paul would bring it. Backlash. President Paul's post cuts. AP. Millions of U.S. veterans marched to D.C. to protest President Paul's planned cuts to veteran affairs. The president released a statement claiming while he will maintain commitments government's made, he seeks to wean people off government handouts, arguing the end of the wars the United States was involved in means that the United States government would owe soldiers less. The proposed cut's been met with bipartisan backlash. A statement signed by 30 senators, including Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah, Senator John McCain of Arizona, and Senator Daniel Akaka of Hawaii, have condemned the cuts as unimaginably cruel, betrayal of our bravest citizens. Called for cuts in other areas. In a separate statement, Senator Akaka pledged to filibuster any possible cuts to veteran affairs. Former primary opponent of Ron Paul, opponents of Ron Paul, Mitt Romney and Mike Huckabee, have condemned the cuts as weakening the military and international prestige as a whole. Huckabee claiming this is about what we can expect from our president after the disgraceful pullout. Minority Leader of the House John Boehner and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell have both refused to comment on whether they will support the proposed cuts. Please select the election you will run in. Moderate Democrat Evan Bayh controversially faces off against Ron Paul after a tumultuous 4 years. Bayh must move the Democratic Party past Kerry while ensuring liberals turnout, whereas President Paul must bank on limited Democratic turnout and his few successes to secure another 4 years. Oh, there we go. Not too shabby at all. Very close in Michigan and Ohio, looks like. Let's look at the closest states. Nevada was very close, 1,100 votes, holy shit. New Mexico, about 2,000. Not a big shock there. Wisconsin, that's about 8,000. Michigan, 14,000. And then fifth is Minnesota. It's about 11,000. 10,500 maybe. Not too bad. So, here's how we do versus the Canon event. Pretty good overall. And, I'm not interested in spoiling the 2000 election, but the 2008 one would be interesting. Anyway. So that, my friends, was Liberty and Liberalism. I enjoyed it. It's a nifty little mod. There are a couple spelling issues here and there, but it's pretty cool. If you would like to see more New Campaign Trail, go ahead and comment down in the comment section below. Tell me which mods you would like to see specifically, because I am looking to play some more, especially as we are coming into our real-life New Campaign Trail event in these next couple days, the next couple weeks. So, that's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But, I'm hoping to be more up-to-date on these uploads, especially as we inch closer to that. So, if you guys are interested, go ahead, leave any comments you want to see. Make sure to hit the sub button as well. Also, hit the notification bell. Keep updated with all my uploads. I do lots of strategy game stuff, Hearts of Iron stuff, but I do New Campaign Trail stuff as well, mainly on weekends. So if any of that interests you, go ahead and check it out. And yeah, if like, if not, feel free to dislike. And yeah, and we'll see you all in the next video. I thank you all for watching. My name has been Mr. Dogbot333, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye now.